Most players play jungle the wrong way. They farm randomly, chase kills, and end up being useless in the mid to late game. But at higher level play, jungle is all about macro decisions and micro execution. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So you may feel that you're good, but you may be unsatisfied from your performance. It's like there's something that you also have to improve to compete against higher level enemies. It's like the higher you go, the higher you feel that there's more to learn, and you're still not entirely pro. So today I'll break it step by step, what you're doing wrong and how to play jungle in an efficient way. So let's start the guide right away. Before we start, I would like to make this clear that I'm not a pro. But because I have been analyzing a lot of esports tournaments and learning many things, just for the sake of videos like these. And I'm even applying to my gameplay, and trust me guys, you won't regret practicing and learning what I'm about to explain. And trust me, this will definitely help you in your gameplay. So now I'll give you some mistakes and give you tips as well. So get ready for the tips that you might know before, but still, it's a good reminder for y'all also. In the early game, one of the most common mistakes junglers make is farming without a plan. They just see a camp and go for it, walking back and forth across the jungle without thinking about the order. This may not look like a big mistake at first, but in higher levels, even a few wasted seconds can decide who controls the first turtle or who gets ahead in golden levels. Now look, their hyper is at the mid lane, so we have 100% advantage against them and fight with no fear. But the main advantage is not this. The main advantage is that we got the early game in our hands. So now that we killed 2 enemies, that means we have to take their creep. And on top of that, we can take their blue with ease, because it seems like Matilda is not helping YSS, and Ling is simply stronger than YSS in early game. We found Matilda out of position, so if that's the case, then instantly attack her, don't leave this chance. Though she is a roamer, but still, if they are making mistakes, then don't miss the chance. Now that our early game was really good like it should be, as because they got YSS and their early game engagement was really bad, so now we got the early advantage for taking turtle. This is what separates good junglers from average ones. A good junglers don't waste time. Every camp they clear is part of a chain that leads into something bigger, whether it's level 4 timing, turtle control, or a lane rotation. That's why they always seem faster, always one step ahead, and always pressuring the map. Random farming keeps you behind like YSS was doing because he mostly engaged in random fights with not any good outcome and proper number advantage. So, smart farming sets the pace of the entire game, not the random fights without any advantage. So instead of that, just farm if there's no any fight advantage. Here, as you can see that I avoided Cho, because I had no any idea whether I can kill him or not, so I left him. And I even saw Wan out of position, but I couldn't get her, so I instantly left her as well. Because my buffs and creeps were already spawned, so forcing fight without any confirmation is a bad move. Better farm your buffs and creeps. Because another big mistake junglers fall into is kill addiction. The moment they see an enemy overextend, they drop everything just to force a gank. On paper, it sounds good. Help the lane, get a kill. But the reality is often the opposite. You waste your time, sometimes die in the process, and fall behind in levels because you stopped farming at the wrong moment. Now another is bad team fight decision. Now notice how I'm waiting for them to engage with my other teammates. And the moment they engage, I can just dive in. So they couldn't react by my ultimate because they are distracted against my other teammates, and I can use my ultimate freely. And here also, I'm not going front to fight them head on, because Ling is such a squishy hero that if he kicks me, then I'm already dead. The truth is, good junglers don't always start fights, they finish them. Engagement isn't about being the first to jump in, it's about waiting for the right moment. Watch how your tank or roamer sets things up. Let them eat the first wave of crowd control. Let the enemy reveal their positioning and only then look for your opening. And look at their mage and roamer. They are not at the top lane. But the tricky part is not about diving and killing them. The part is about watching the other enemies in the map and reacting according to the enemy's rotation. I knew that their mage and roamer will find a way to kill me after I dived and killed YSS. So I chose a safe way to escape from them, as because I don't have my ultimate to fight them head on. Patience and thinking ahead before reacting is what makes the difference. Average junglers dive in first and die fast. Or even if they killed successfully, they don't see what will happen after you killed and go the wrong way, and that's where they get ambushed, and there's no any point of killing other enemy if you're dead at the end. But good junglers read the chaos, pick the perfect target, and strike at the exact second that wins the fight, and they even calculate how to escape after that kill. So remember, team fights aren't about who jumps in first, but they're about who chooses the right moment to decide everything. One thing that separates an average jungler from a good one is the way they think about objectives. Many players get distracted, farming camps, chasing kills, or roaming without purpose, while the turtle or lord is literally on the map waiting to be taken. When you ignore objectives, you're basically letting the enemy decide the flow of the game. But it also depends. If you're winning like this match, then just keep an eye on turtle, and if you take all the buffs, then you can take turtle. Because if you're winning, then in most cases enemies won't dare to take turtle or lord. But if both teammates are having a toe-to-toe match, then priority must be turtle and lord. Because you never know when they might get the objective. Now watch this. I just avoided to go in, because you already know that the situation was not in my favor, so I backed off. And yes, this is really basic, but when you fight, retreating and engaging is really important. One of the hardest lessons for a jungler is learning that not every fight is yours to take. Many players think retreating is weakness, but in reality, it's one of the strongest decisions you can make. Now imagine the smarter choice. You show up, but instead of forcing, you quickly read the situation. The enemy has better position, their backline is untouched, and your teammates are already losing ground. Instead of diving in and dying with them, you cover their retreat, throw some skills to slow the enemy chase, and back off. You live, reset, and in 30 seconds you're back farming, preparing for the next turtle. That's discipline, and it keeps your team in the game. The same applies when deciding to join a fight. The best time is when the enemy has already committed. Maybe their skills are down, their tank has dived too deep, or their carry is exposed at the back. That's when you strike. Quick, clean, and with purpose. You're not just fighting because a fight started. You're fighting because the situation is already in your favor. Good junglers know how to kill. Great junglers know when to walk away. Sometimes retreating is the smartest way to win, because it sets you up to fight again on your own terms. When your skills are ready, your team is grouped, and the map is on your side. If you're a new viewer, then this is another match from my account, and last match was from my friend's account. I am using his account because of Ling Collector's skin until I'm fed up. Now another tip is about panning and watching map. It's basic, but crucial. I'm telling this because still many players don't pan maps and miss many valuable information. One habit that separates good junglers from everyone else is how often they look at the map. Most players tunnel on their own hero, farming camps or spamming skills, while the real story of the game is unfolding in the mini-map. Imagine this. You're busy clearing your buff, staring only at your character. On the mini-map, your gold laner is already being dived, your mid lane is pushed in, and the enemy jungler is crossing the river. By the time you finally notice, it's too late. You're always reacting instead of predicting. While farming, they constantly pan the camera to side lanes. They check if the enemy marksman is overextended, if their own roamer is roaming toward mid, or if the enemy jungler showed top side. Just a quick glance gives them all the information they need to decide their next move, whether to gank, invade, or secure an objective. Panning is looking for the best options before engaging in certain fights. If you see the enemy mage burning flicker in mid, you already know that's a free kill on your next rotation. If you catch the enemy jungler showing on the other side of the map, you know you can invade safely or rush turtle. The rule is simple. Don't just play your hero, play the map. The more you pan, the more control you have, because vision creates decisions, and decisions win games. Now another tip is about being present in all over the map. One of the scariest things a jungler can do is make the enemy feel like you're everywhere. You don't even need to get kills every time. You just need to show up in the right places and force the enemy to constantly guess where you'll appear next. Picture this. You rotate from mid to gold lane. You don't even dive. You just show up in the bush. The enemy marksman sees you and instantly backs away, missing gold and EXP. A minute later, you walk toward top, and suddenly their XP laner plays safer too. Just by being seen, you've created pressure in 2 lanes without even using your skills. This is what chaos looks like. You make the enemy uncomfortable, you take away their confidence, and you force them to play reactive instead of proactive. Every time they see you, they hesitate. Every time they don't see you, they're paranoid about where you might be. But presence isn't random. Good junglers plan it. After clearing camps, they don't just stay hidden farming endlessly. They step into lanes, poke, cover teammates, or simply show themselves at the right moment. Each appearance forces the enemy to adjust, while your team gets the breathing room to farm safely or push towers. When done right, it feels like you're in 3 places at once. The enemy jungler clears faster, but you control the map. You're not only farming gold, you're farming fear. And fear is just as powerful as any skill in the game, because a team that's afraid to play forward is a team that's already losing ground. Now for bonus tip, when you're farming an early game, then tell your MM to poke their MM, so that when you rotate, then you can kill them with ease. And if you're MM, then it's your duty to not be poked, but you poke them instead to help your hyper. Jungling isn't simple. There are so many layers: routes, timing, objectives, pressure, vision, team fight decisions, and so much more. And I'll be making a full video dedicated to breaking down every detail you should know as a jungler. But for now, these points are enough.